So today we're going to be meal prepping my dinner. Now, dinner usually changes for me every single week. My process goes 1 week, I'll do all week chicken, broccoli, rice. Next week, I'll do ground turkey, broccoli, and rice. And then the third week, I'll do salmon. And you guessed it, broccoli and rice. I keep my meals very, very simple. I find that the simpler my meals are, the easier the whole process is for me personally. And then usually the fourth week, I usually opt for a meal subscription service. Two of them that I usually go for is Mega Fit Meals, and another one that I usually go for is Factor Meals. Both of those are top tier, very good options when it comes to meal subscriptions. But this week, we're on my third week cycle. So this week we're doing salmon, rice, and broccoli. And during this process, I'm going to show you exactly how I make 5 days worth of food for the week for my meal prep. All right. First off, we start off with seasoning the salmon, warming up the oven. And then once we get that salmon seasoned and we get that salmon on the pan, we stick it into the oven for about 30 minutes and let it cook. And while we're cooking, that is when the real fun happens. Now, as you see, this is how I make my rice. I know a lot of people, they do rice cookers. They make their rice on the oven top, and that is all fine and dandy. If you want to make your rice that way, go ahead and do it. And to be honest, you are a better person than me. I just like to do the minute rice because minute rice is quick and easy and way quicker than doing it on the oven top or doing it in a rice cooker. All right. So I got the minute rice, just throw it in the microwave, let it cook for a minute. And then I take the rice and I just distribute it, all 5 containers of minute rice, and put them in my meal prep glass bowls. And then move on to the next part. The next part I do is I like to cut up some green onions and put it into my rice. I don't know why, it's just something that I've started doing within like the last 2 or 3 months. I find that it just adds a little like nice light flavor to the rice. So I cut up some green onions, chop, chop, chop. And then I distribute the green onions through all 5 containers of meal prep. And then I like to stir it in, get all those green onion flavorings all up in the rice. And then I move on to the next part, which is my vegetable, which is broccoli, as you all know. Now, I like to do frozen broccoli. Frozen vegetables, just period. I like to do frozen string beans, frozen broccoli. Sometimes I'll go for like mixed vegetable melody, and frozen vegetables is all good. It's all good. But if you want to do raw vegetables, go ahead and do raw vegetables. If you want to do canned vegetables, go ahead and do canned vegetables. At the end of the freaking day, the most important part is that you get your freaking vegetables in your meals. All right. So I like to do frozen vegetables. As you see, this is the broccoli brand that I like to use. You can use any brand that you want as usual. I pop it into the microwave for however long it takes. And then I distribute the broccoli between all 5 of my meal prep containers. All right. Now, I've seen recently someone on the internet actually take their frozen vegetables and put them in the container without cooking them first. I haven't tested that theory out yet, but I can't see that being the problem whatsoever, especially since you're probably going to be cooking your warming up your food before you eat it anyways, you know. But I've seen that. I guess you can do that. I don't do that. Maybe one day I'll test it out, but just for the sake of my process and the video that you're watching now, I like to warm up my broccoli, I like to warm up my rice, and I like to put it into the containers and do my meal prep that way. After all of that, the salmon or your protein is going to be ready. All right. So as you see, I like to take my salmon out, put it on top of the oven. I get my food scale prepared. The food scale is probably one of the most essential tools that you're absolutely going to need for your meal prep, because you got to put it this way. How do you know whether you're in a caloric deficit, or how do you know exactly how much protein that you're getting into your diet if you don't measure how much food that you're actually putting into your body? You know, getting a food scale and measuring my food was an absolute game changer for me. It changed the whole process of how I look at eating food, because I noticed that I was actually eating way too much food. And it changed the whole game and how my fitness progressed. I noticed that I was getting more muscle. I noticed that I was actually losing more weight once I started measuring how much food did I eat every day. So I would say getting a nice food scale is absolutely essential. I will leave a link down below about which food scale that I got if you're interested. I will also leave a link down below with the meal prep glass containers that I have, because let me tell you, getting glass containers for your meal prep is going to absolutely change your life. I've used the plastic before, and plastic is fine if you're on the move and you just want to eat your food and toss it away. Some people rewash the plastic containers, and that's all fine. But I find that with glass containers, that they are just priceless, man. If you get some nice, good glass container meal prep bowls, then all you need to do is load your food up, eat your food, wash your bowl, and then you can reuse it over and over and over again. You ain't never got to think about getting new meal prep containers ever again if you have a glass container for your meal prep. All right. So that's just a little tangent that I'm going to go on. Going to move on to the process. As you see, I'm going to take my salmon and I'm going to put it on my food scale, and I'm going to weigh out just exactly how much salmon that I have in each meal prep container all week. So I'll measure my salmon, plug in Monday, measure my salmon, plug in Tuesday, measure my salmon, plug in Wednesday. And I do that for all 5 days of my meal prep. And then once I get my meal prep ready, I put the tops on them. I put them into my refrigerator. And then when I'm ready to eat them, I just grab one of my meal prep containers to put it in my bag for me, because I work midnights at my job. And then I just take it to work and I eat that bad boy on my lunch break. So I got food all throughout the week for work. And I'm not breaking my diet. I'm not eating no bad snacks from vending machines. I'm not eating fast food. I'm eating homemade, great bodybuilding food that I made for 5 days straight. And that's going to keep you on the path towards your goals, towards success. All right. So what do I do along with this meal? All right. It's salmon, rice, and broccoli. Well, two other things I like to add to my meals is, one, I like to add a fruit. One of the things that you will see with all my meals is I like to do a fruit, a protein, and some type of vegetable or grain, you know? So today, actually, every week, every day you're going to see with my dinner meals is I've been going for oranges here lately. Sometimes I might switch it up. Sometimes I might go pineapple. Sometimes I might go watermelon. But oranges has been the easiest thing that I can just pack into a bag, then get on the go. And not only that, but oranges are freaking good too. So they also have vitamin C that's going to keep you nice and healthy. So I like to have oranges with my meal. But also the other thing that I like to have with my meal is I like to have a protein bar. Now, as you see, this is a Quest dipped protein bar. I find that Quest Nutrition, in my opinion, has the best protein bar options out there. All right. I only like to go for 2 versions of the Quest Nutrition protein bars, though. I like to go for the dipped, and I also like to go for the crunch. Both of them are top tier options, but you can't go wrong with any of the Quest Nutrition protein bars. They're all fantastic, all right? And no, I'm not sponsored. It's just I've had a lot of protein bars in my day, and some of them just are terrible. Some of them are good, but Quest Nutrition are consistently good every single time, and they have 18 to 21 grams of protein in their protein bar, depending on what type of protein bar that you get, but that's the one that I like to use. So that's my meal prep meal. I like to do this week salmon, rice, broccoli, an orange, and I got me a nice Quest Nutrition bar, and I usually wash all of this down with water. All right, water. I have like a big flask, 40 ounces of water that I drink every day at work. I usually drink this down, drink the 40 ounces of water at work. Not all at one time, obviously. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that while watching this video, you got some good ideas or some tips that you can use for your own meal prep. Now, one other thing that I can say before I go is people always ask me consistently about what I eat every week. I mean, every day, almost daily. What are you eating? What are you eating for lunch? What are you eating for breakfast? What are you eating for dinner? And, you know, it's tough for me to answer these questions sometimes because my menu changes every week. This week, as I explained before, I do chicken, ground turkey, salmon, and meal subscriptions, and I interchange every week. My lunch stays the same, but my breakfast also changes every single week, you know? But one tip that I like to give people is if you want to figure out just how to eat healthy, I would say a good thing to do is to go on YouTube and search up full day of eating videos by like bodybuilders, athletes, or even fitness influencers. Like look up full day of eating videos by people in that lane, and you don't have to eat as much as these people eat, but look at the kinds of food that they're eating. That's gonna make all the difference. All right, so that's my biggest tip that I can give you. Looking at those full day of eating videos have personally changed my whole opinion and view on how I eat, on how I make my meal prep and how I meal prep and what I eat daily to put into my body to see the type of fitness results that I want to see. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that I was glad to have you in my kitchen as you watch me go through the process of making my meal prep meals. And I hope that you got something out of this. You saw how I make my lunch. You seen how I make my dinner. And eventually, somewhere down the road, I'm going to show you exactly what I do on how I make my breakfast. But until then, I hope you enjoyed all the content on my channel. If you have anybody that you believe could see some type of value from this video, please send it to them. Spread the word. I want this video to get out and help as many people as possible because that's what this is for. All right. I want to help people on their diet and fitness journeys make this as simple, as easy, and as delicious as freaking possible. Because when your food is simple, when your food is easy, and when it's delicious, the whole process feels like a breeze.